All right, from the coast to the Cascades, our first guest is the owner of the Mount Hood Railroad. Scott Webster, owner of the Fruit Company in the Hood River Valley, bought the railroad last year. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having us, Lacey.
Yeah, so you have been making lots of improvements and changes since you bought the railroad. So first, tell us, though, about the history of the railroad and how you came to be the owner.
Yeah, it's got a rich history. So it's 116 years old.
Wow.
Started in 1905 with the construction of it by a man by the name of David Eccles. And he had a lumber mill up in the middle of the Hood River Valley. And so he built the train to pull all of his lumber out. It really did the best, though, during the era of the fruit industry. And so at its peak, it was pulling over 5,000 UP carloads of fruit out of the valley every year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then eventually it did start transporting passengers, right? Like
Yes.
in 1915?
Yep.
Yeah.
So in 1915, it started with passenger service. It's had passenger service most of the time, most of its history, but really started about 30 years ago doing it in a big way.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then how did you come to be the owner? Is this something, are you just a big train lover, or were
Yeah.
you are local, you own the fruit company there,
Yep.
so how did it come to be?
Well, I did love trains when I was younger, like most young kids. But yeah, we had an opportunity. The train was owned by a Chicago company, and it had really kind of run the train into the ground. There was about 3 years where it was really tough. And so there was an opportunity to work with the trustee to come in and settle all the creditor issues, and that's when we took possession of it.
Well, that's great. What are some of the changes you've made in the last year?
So probably the most important change is just in personnel. Most important asset we have is the people that work for us. And so we've really turned it, when we took over, it was about a 3.5 star review train. It's today 4.3.
Great.
And the last 35 reviews, 34 are 5-star.
Oh, great.
So it's really the people that we have employed, both on the hospitality and operations side, that really have made the difference.
Yeah, but you do have a lot of fun events. So you have added rail bikes.
Yes.
What are those?
That is the coolest thing we do. So rail bikes, if you can imagine little goat carts with 4 wheels, they ride on the rail, and they ride from the Hood River Depot in downtown Hood River up to the beautiful Fruit Valley, to thefruitcompany.com. And that's where you get off, and you can have about an hour there to eat, to enjoy a beautiful museum, buy things in our gift shop. The Mount Hood Winery, which isn't owned by us, but great partners, they're right across the parking lot. So there's these 2 Fruit Loop venues that you can go visit when you're up there.
Okay, how long is the ride?
It's about, round trip, it's about 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay, but how, I needed to know distance. It's like, am I gonna be sweating by the time I get to the fruit company?
Yeah, no, the cool thing about these rail bikes is they're actually e-assist.
Okay.
And so any age can do it. You can pedal. They've got these just awesome lounge seats, so they're very comfortable.
Nice.
And but the coolest thing is you can just push a button and they go.
Awesome.
So,
oh, that's convenient. Yeah. Okay, you also do, you're going to start a Halloween train this year, right?
Yes, yes.
Tell us about that.
So we had an Easter train for the first time
Okay.
this year, and it was just a wild success. It's going to be, I think, the inaugural kickoff each year. We're going to do the Easter train around the 1st of April. And then the end of the spring, summer, fall trips that we do, and we go every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to bookcase that Easter trip with a Halloween train.
Okay.
And so it's going to be super exciting. We're going to do something for adults and children.
Okay.
And it's going to be really fun.
How fun. And then you also, I think everyone knows the Mount Hood Railroad for the Christmas train.
Yes.
And you're still doing that.
We are.
Tell us about that.
Biggest event we do. And it's just, you know, one of the tenets that are so important to us is to make it magical for everyone. And so you're going to see some big changes there with the upholstery in the rail cars, the decor. We have live reindeers this year.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to bring in some live reindeers for the kids to interact. That's only for 1 week. It's from the 11th to the 16th. Our busiest week is actually the next week.
Oh.
But Santa has to take those reindeer and kind of
Of course,
exercise them.
Santa's very busy, so I understand. Tell us more about the Fruit Company and what people can find there.
So the Fruit Company has been around for 23 years. Our family got into the orchard business 80 years ago.
Okay.
And we started selling online. So we basically sell gift baskets all over the country. And one of the really cool things you can do there now is go and view us building gifts. So think Tillamook Cheese Factory.
Sure.
You can go watch us build gifts, kind of figure out how it's done. along with this gift shop and museum that you can enjoy while you're there.
Very fun. I mean, there's so many things to do out in Hood River. It's just a blast. So how can people learn more and book tickets?
Well, there's 2 sites where you can book 5 different experiences. And you can go to the MountHoodRailroad.com, that's one place, or you can just go to thefruitcompany.com.
Awesome. Yes, all the information is right there on your screen. Thanks so much for coming, Scott. It was fun.
Thanks for having us.